This is not what I expected. The one thing I did was prepare the paper with alum, potassium aluminum sulfate, and this fixes the ink instantly on my paper. I had heard about alum, but I have now officially tested 3 types of paper with and without alum. Let's review the results. I didn't go for any fancy papers. I used 20-pound copier paper, 32-pound copier paper, and 80-pound drawing paper. I wrote on the back the weights of the paper, and then for the alum coated I put an X so that I could distinguish, because I wasn't sure what to expect. So each page had an X by it to let me know that it was the alum coated paper. I had heard somewhere that it's best to only coat one side of your paper, so that's exactly what I did. I just got a flat brush and just started to coat the one side, make sure every spot is covered, and not going to bore you with every piece of paper, so let's get started. Since this video is primarily about the alum results, for a step-by-step tutorial on Suminagashi Japanese paper marbling, check out my other video. I'll link it in the description, along with all the materials I've used in this video. I'm using Suminagashi marbling ink. Again, got that on Amazon. Here is my soapy water. I've got 2 brushes, one for soapy water, one for my inks, and a stick to go ahead and mix things up. So let's get started. I always clean off my water with a strip of newspaper. And then I've dropped a little bit of the black ink and just, back and forth with the soapy water and the ink. As I alternate between the soapy water and the ink, you'll notice how the soapy water allows the ink to expand. It helps it to spread out. It reduces the actual water tension within the water base. So I'm doing what I learned as Suminagashi here between alternating brushes. Okay, it's time for our first print. This is a 20-pound with alum coated paper. I'm going to lay it down on top of the water and gently tap it to make sure there's no air bubbles. We don't want any air bubbles in there because those will leave a white spot on your design. So it looks like it's adhered very well. Now is our opportunity to take a look at our print. Okay, I think it looks great. I really like how it looks. I can't wait to try the next. So now for our comparison print. We're going to clean off the water here. I'm trying to make everything comparable. So I've got clean water. I am going to use the black ink and the soapy water. So let's get started. I am going to drop my black ink and then alternate between the ink and between the soapy water and see what we get. Let's watch it develop. Okay, here is the comparison print. This is 20-pound paper. No alum has been applied. Now we lay it down on top of the water and gently allow the sides to go into the water. And we'll gently tap it, making sure that there are no air bubbles. We don't want any spots, white spots in our design. So we'll gently pick it up and take a look at the print and see what we got. Well, it's okay. I can't wait for it to dry so that we can compare it to the first print. So let's add some color to this. I didn't clean the water out and just wanted to see what would happen, as I move forward with this experiment. So I like the blue, just going in and doing my alternating of soap and ink, and we'll see what we get on this next print. So let's pull a print on the blue. This is a 20-pound with Alum on it. Looks really pretty. I like that color. Now it's time to replicate the no Alum paper. This is going to be again on 20-pound paper. Time to pull a print. Oops. Looks like it ripped and it's a bit lackluster. So let's step away from the black. I'm going to try some of the different colors that come in the Suminagashi marbling kit and see where we're going. I'm also doing something a little bit different. Rather than using my stick, I just wanted to see what would happen using my actual brush, just to see, what variations I might get as far as the swirls and changes that come through. And it was kind of cool. It had little trails of color. We're doing an Alum 20-pound paper. Let's dip it in and see what we get as far as our print goes. So far, I've liked everything we've gotten that had the Alum covering on the paper. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That looks really pretty. They're just so much more vibrant and clear. Time for our comparison print. Went ahead and used the same colors that I used in the previous print and worked through the dropping and alternating ink and soapy water. And then I added the same with the brush. I just started to run it through to get different types of variations. And now let's see what our print is. All right. It is pretty. It looks good. And this is a 20-pound no Alum on the paper. Okay, let's move on to new colors and new technique. Rather than alternating brushes, I thought I would try dropping the ink right out of the bottles to see if I could get any kind of different type of look to my papers. And then I used the stick to intermingle and create the swirls within my tray. And this is a 20-pound with Alum that we are getting our first print from. Let's see what we get as far as the colors. It seems as though the colors are much more vibrant than the black and white. Okay, this looks really nice. Everything is really clear. Time for our comparison print. Again, adding colors and using the actual ink bottles to drop my colors in, and then mixing them with my stick. I wanted to see what we were going to get as far as no Alum and 20-pound paper once again, as we drop it into the water base just to get the ink adhered to our paper. Let's see what we get. Okay, let's see the anticipation. It actually looks pretty. Okay, we're now back to the black ink and alternating brushes with black ink and with the soapy water. I wanted to try a little more, I guess, controlled Suminagashi, where I'm trying to control my design a little bit more, and will be mixing it up and making a print. It will be on 32-pound. Yes, I did finally move away from 20-pound. This is the 32-pound with Alum. So we'll mix it with our stick and see how we can create a beautiful design, and then take our paper and drop it in 32-pound with Alum and see what type of print that we're going to get. And we lay it down. Remember to lay it flat to just make sure there's no air bubbles so that you have no white spots in your design. And here we go. Okay, I like it. I like it. Let's create our comparison print, doing almost exactly the same thing. They are always going to be one of a kind, but trying to replicate as much as I possibly can. We are on 32-pound, no Alum on this. And at the end of our video, we will be digging deeper into the overall comparison. So now let's reveal our print. Okay, here we are at the 80-pound with Alum. I wasn't able to capture the 80-pound no Alum, but let me tell you, you'll be shocked at the difference between the two. We are at our last comparison, 80-pound with Alum. Let's see what our print comes out as. I've really liked what I've seen with the Alum so far and with the color. So let's take a look. Oh, yes, I like. This will be the last print that we actually make. This is our final comparison. It's going to be on the 80-pound drawing paper with no Alum on it. I am laying the print into the water right at the moment, and we will see shortly what we get. So far, I've liked everything with the Alum. It really did make a difference. Okay, actually this one I think looks better. Here we are, what we've been waiting for. Everything is dry, and now it's time to look at all of our work and check out the comparison and see what worked, what didn't work. Do we like Alum? Do we not like Alum? Let's see. This is a 32-pound with Alum paper that we used. What do you think when you look at the two? I wish you could see them in person. You have to try this just to see. It actually does make a difference. It may be subtle somewhat, but when you see it in person, the colors are richer, they're clearer, and more concise. Now this is a 20-pound with Alum. I did it on the wrong side. But look at that. I hope you can tell the difference in the color saturation, the vibrancy between the two. It just looks really nice. Okay, this is the first one we created. Okay, which one has the Alum? Which one does not? Can you tell the difference? I can. It's almost obvious. I'm shocked. This is the 20-pound with Alum, the one on the left side. And this is the one without the Alum. I think that's pretty evident. I like the one with Alum. Okay, let's take a look here at the blue. I really liked the blue. Again, Which one has the Alum? Which one doesn't? We're looking at a 20-pound paper again. Yep, left side. That is the 20-pound paper with Alum. Again, that's really pretty evident. They're just so much more vibrant, and all of your swirls are much clearer. Okay, let's see what our next one is. This is another 20-pound, and again, wow, can you tell? I mean, they both look pretty, but it's just clearer. The one I've been waiting to share with you, the 80-pound drawing paper. Wow, pretty obvious which one has the Alum on the left side. So, I guess the paper just didn't absorb as well as I had expected. Now we're back to a 32-pound paper, and this one is not as easy to recognize as far as which had Alum, which didn't. And this one has the Alum on the left-hand side. So what do you think? Are you going to try this? I know that I'm probably going to be adding this to my regular ritual whenever I do create papers. And I'm going to also experiment with Alum on other types of paper dyeing that I do, just to see what I can get. But I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and if there's any other kinds of videos you'd like to see, please let me know. I'm loving this experimentation and seeing what is and what isn't that I like. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.